What is up, everybody? Welcome to another video here on the channel. My name is Tuki, and today we have some Dead by Daylight gameplay, and I'm just going to talk about what it's like to be 40. What it was like when I was in my 20s, what it was like, being in my 30s, and what it's like now. So in my 20s, I figured that I would just die. I figured that, something would happen, and I just wouldn't have to deal with life past that. I thought 25 is pretty much it. I really don't want to be the old man in a wheelchair shitting my pants and having to be pushed around, and hopefully I get a hot nurse that jerks me off every once in a while before I roll myself into a fucking pool. But anyways, I didn't die, and I'm still here, 41 years old. For the last 20 something years, I've been a carpenter, and everybody tells you, 25 years old, dude, you should have a wife and a couple kids, a house, all this shit. But in reality, you're more than likely not going to have any of that shit. I am 41 years old, and I've only now got a house because we inherited it through a death in the family. Like, you don't go out and just buy a fucking house no matter what age you are. But for the last 20 years, I've been a carpenter. I've made $40 an hour. Upwards of $45 an hour, depending on the job and what I'm doing. And I thought, getting married, having some kids would change everything, because that's what everybody tells you. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change anything. It just makes it harder. It gives you a different set of problems that you didn't even know could exist. You don't really have friends because everybody's busy doing their own shit at my age, right? So in my 20s, ton of friends. I skateboarded. I had, a few different women I was, going through. And life was good. And it got into my 30s. I met the love of my life. I married her. I already had a kid by this time. Her and I ended up having another baby. At 40 years old, I had a baby girl. Well, I didn't have her. My wife did. But I was there. Anyways, like, you think that everything would be fine once you get to that point in life, You're like, all right, got the wife, got the kids, got the house, got a career. And everything was going good for a long time. And then in January of 2025, I had a massive heart attack. And it was pretty bad. I thought that I was for sure going to die. First time in my life, at 41 years old, I called the ambulance for myself. So the story about that's kind of fucky, but I'll make another video about that. But anyways, so I have the heart attack, and I go back to work. I have almost no strength. I can't think. I can't concentrate. I'm tired as fuck. Like, the first day back was one of the most brutalest experiences of my life. It was the day I realized I cannot fucking do this anymore. So through the realization that I could no longer perform at my job that I'd spent 20 some fucking years building my career, I've met with mayors and city council and all kinds of shit, man. Like, I've had some votes and a lot of shit that's big shit, and going from that to nothing is really fucking eye-opening, man. It's crazy as fuck. Then on top of that, I weighed 320 pounds. I smoked cigarettes. I smoked weed. I eat whatever the fuck I want, which is what I've done my entire fucking life. And I've never cared. If I die, I die, But the truth is that when you have a wife and kids, it's no longer, if I die, I die. You have to fucking try to make things work. And now it's not just you that you have to worry about. It's your wife and kids as well. You are responsible for taking care of your children. You're responsible for taking care of your wife, and your wife taking care of you, and vice versa. But anyways, it's a lot of responsibilities. And when you're younger, you think that people that are 40, 50, 60, 70, they know what the fuck's going on. And the truth is they don't. And how I know that is because I asked my grandfather when he was just a couple months shy of dying. He was 73 or 74 years old. So I asked him, I said, Grandpa, what the fuck is going on? Does anybody have any idea what's going on? What happens? Like, does anybody know fucking anything? And he said no. He's like, nope, we're just kids trying to raise kids, and we just hope that, we don't fuck you guys up as much as we're fucked up. And that was his answer. That was real life, real shit, quote unquote, or quote. I'm kind of stoned. Yeah, that was his quote. That's what he said to me. And I was like, holy shit, man. And at 41 years old, I realized that it's true. The crazy thing about getting older is you don't really have friends. Like when you're 20s, like I said before, I had a bunch of friends, you know, everybody is around, and then one day everybody just doesn't have time to hang out, and you just don't hang out with people anymore. You end up just working a fuckload of hours, spend time with your kids, trying to make memories, trying to, you know, teach them shit. And at the end of the day, like my grandfather said, you're just a kid raising a kid, trying not to fuck them up as bad as you are. The one thing I can say is a lot of people were discouraged when they found out I had this heart attack, because I have to change careers, I have to do all this shit that's really fucking hard, and yada yada yada. Like, you know, I just want to smoke a bunch of weed and fucking eat a bunch of food and just live my life, you know? But at the end of the day, I gotta make these changes. And it's really fucking hard. Because at 41 years old, dude, you're filling out applications for everywhere. And most of the places are like, dude, this guy's 41 and he hasn't had a career. Like, well, you know what I mean? Like, even though it's on your fucking resume, even though I have years and years and years of experience on construction of some form or another, nobody wants to hire me. It is fucking insane. So I even tried to get on a bath fitter, which leads me to another thing. Like, it was a fucking weird ass interview. I went back and forth with this woman through email. She was super excited. She gave me these tests to do. I'd done the test. She sent me the onboard packet, the onboard video, so I watched this like fucking 15-minute video or 10-minute or however long that was fucking like pretty much trying to pull my own teeth out with fucking tweezers. It was terrible. Like, it was boring as fuck. But I sat through all that and I'm like, you know what? Maybe this will pan out. It sounds like a great job. They don't care about weed. You get a company truck, you get a gas card, you have a percentage of every job that you do. It sounds like a good gig. So I do everything they asked me to, and we go ahead, and they hit me up. They schedule the interview. I go to the interview, which is just all on your phone. It's just a video chat. I tell these guys everything. And, you know, they're like, well, you were worried about the labor part of it. It's like, dude, I'm fat, but I'm not lazy. Like, the restoring bathrooms is the easiest shit you can do compared to what I'm, you know, used to normally doing. So I end up not getting the job. They said my resume was extremely impressive, and, you know, they just found somebody that was a better fit that has a little bit more plumbing experience than me. That's fine, whatever. So I decided to fill out for everywhere. I filled out for McDonald's, and I have a lot of cooking experience, and they said I have too much experience to work there. Same way with Wendy's, same way with Taco Bell. Taco Bell actually let me get cleared to the fucking interview. I went through the interview, and she's like, yeah, we'll get a hold of you to start soon. That's been like a year and a half ago, it fucking feels like. So that's great. And, you know, it's been stressful as fuck. Luckily, we have family members who can help us out and all that. Like, I do work on the side. Like, we're still good, but it's fucking hard. So, I sit here every day, man. And I try to think of something better to do. And it just gets harder. The big thing that will rage in your head is the fact that you're middle-aged. 41 years old, dude. Soon I'll be 50, then I'll be 60, then I'll be fucking dead. So, you know, it's pretty crazy to think about that, and you will think about it. When you hit 40 years old, it's one of the first things you think about. There's times I'll get stoned out of my mind, dude, and I will just fucking absolutely go down this fucking shit road that leads to my existential crisis because I'm fucking think about the fact that I'm 41 and I could die at any minute, and you know, it is very fucking hard to do. Very fucking hard to do. It's hard to exist. It's hard to just go through this shit. But I'm perfectly healthy now. I just gotta lose the weight, go through all that, and try to get this weed thing under control. But I know this has been mostly rambling, and I'm sure a lot of people have just clicked the fuck off this shit, but it's fine. It is what it is. But the biggest thing I can tell you at being 40 years old, being 41 over 40, however the fuck you want to say it, bro. The best thing you can do is just try to live your life the best you can. Try to have fun with your wife and kids. Try to actually fucking do something with yourself. Sitting around thinking about shit, you know, ingesting large amounts of sugar and caffeine and shit you shouldn't be, is just going to fuck you up. It's going to make you feel like shit. You're going to be depressed because, trust me, I'm depressed as fuck, man. My kids don't know that. My wife doesn't know that. My friends don't know that. Nobody knows that. I just don't tell them. I make these videos they'll never watch, they'll never see, and I talk about shit like this. But at the end of the day, advice that I have for anybody is plan to do things by yourself. Even if you're with somebody, even if you got a bunch of friends, even if you're in high school and you're dating this girl and you have a chance to get a scholarship and you're like, but I don't want to leave you. Leave that bitch, bro. Get your scholarship. Get your money, boo-boo. She's going to be sucking some other dude's fucking cock the second you're fucking 2 hours late getting home from work because you had forced overtime. I'm telling you, bro, it happens. It happens every day. So when you make plans, when you think about shit, make plans for yourself, by yourself, for your future. Don't worry about your girl. Don't worry about your parents. Don't worry about your friends. Don't worry about anybody else but yourself. One time in your life, you should be selfish. It's when making decisions for yourself about yourself. On top of that, don't worry about friends, man. Friends come and go. I have friends that I've had for over 20 years. Some of them fucked me over 20 years later, bro. Some of them I still talk to, but we're all busy. We all got kids. We all got shit to do. And at the end of the day, it just is what the fuck it is. But yeah, I just wanted to ramble on a little bit, kind of get this off my chest. I don't know if anybody will see this, but if they do, that's awesome. If you stayed this long, consider dropping a like, comment, subscribing, all that fucking shit. I love you so much. Thank you for just being here. You know, listen to me rant for a bit and bitch for a little bit and all that. That's dope. So anyways, I hope I can give you some advice that helps you out. And like I said, stick around. I'm going to be doing more rants on this channel for sure. But anyways, yeah, I love you. Thank you. And I will see you all in the next one. Have a great day, guys.